Actually, it just showed up on my newsfeed in Facebook. I had a friend that liked a recipe that Kaelin had done. And so then that showed up and said, hey, so-and-so liked this. And then I was like, well, what's this? And so I just watched the video. Next thing I know, it's just full of LadyBoss. So then I actually searched her on YouTube and watched all of the old Tool Time videos. And so I got a better understanding of what everything was.
Got it, okay. And so then what did you start with? Like, did you start with the trainer, the lean, like?
I ordered lean, and then I just started following. I just went through all of her videos and just had them playing as I was doing dishes or cleaning the house, and just kind of got a feel of her, what it was about. Did as much research as I can find. Like, is this just a thing or is it real?
Got it. Do you feel like that's something that you've done a lot? Like, you research and like you want to get all the information.
Right.
And okay.
Yeah. It wasn't just a fad thing. I wanted to make sure before.
Right.
Like, who is she?
Right.
What is she more about?
And then you found that you related to her. What made you decide to?
The way she speaks. She's more like a motivational speaker, as far as like what I see.
Right.
It just got me in the right mind frame, and I was like, stuff was clicking. Like, I was 85 pounds heavier than I am now, and I just heard some of the things that she said, and so then I started with that, but then I went to squad 13.
Okay, awesome. That's so amazing. You just shared with me, you dropped a bomb with me that you lost 85 pounds. We'll get there though.
Oh, okay.
No, it's so awesome. So before you started LadyBoss, what were your struggles? What were your challenges mentally, even your bad habits? Like, where were you?
I hated myself. I had a rough beginning in my life, and it kind of set the tone that I was nothing. And then, man, this wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, tissue right there.
I moved away from Minnesota, and I left everything, the first 10 years of hell there, and I thought it was done. And then when I moved to Oregon, I started over. Like, okay, that was the old crap, this is new, it's a new fresh start. But then more traumatic things happened, and then it led to my birth dad telling me that it was easier to forget about me than it was to love me and miss me at 18. And began the lost.
All right, well, obviously.
Which snowballed into anorexia, self-hate, self-doubt, all that.
I see. And how old are you?
I'm almost 42.
Okay. So you are in this place where you don't feel like lovable, you don't love yourself, you hate yourself, you're overweight, and you've gone through traumatic experiences, so you probably had some poor coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
I assume. And so what was the moment that everything changed for you? Like, you're gathering all this information, you're like, this girl, she's honest, like, you can trust her. So what was the moment that everything changed?
When she told the story about her dad. That we can surpass things that our parents do. And I never knew I was worth it. My mom doesn't even know what the things I've done as a kid. I attempted suicide twice. And she doesn't even know. She doesn't even know most of what happened. In the first 6 years of my life, I had 6 people do what they do. That was, in the early 80s, it was basically free-range pedophiles. Every babysitter, because my real dad actually, when he kicked my mom out, he kept us, and he used us as a pawn, and he was very hands-on and mean, and he'd just drop us to any babysitter, me and my sister. He'd just drop us wherever. Didn't care what they did to us. We told him what they were doing, and he told us, don't make a scene, keep quiet, and brought us back. Even when the neighbor's mom found out, he didn't believe it. He said it was all my mom's lie. It was all her, it's not true. And so because of that, I made up I didn't really tell that many lies, but I said that he was the one kind of doing stuff so that we could get out. That was my only out. I was 6 years old, and both my sister's 3 years old, 3 years older than me. And both her and I were being assaulted constantly. And he wouldn't listen, and he wouldn't help us, and he just kept doing it. So it was nothing. He brushed my outside of my shirt or whatever, but they could tell. I was a mute. I didn't talk for 2 years. I wasn't eating. I started passing out and having seizures everywhere and all this stuff, and I would never talk. I would just look at my sister and she would say everything. So when we went to the divorce court, they could tell something was wrong. They could tell something with me. I was given all the signs. I was wetting my bed. I was doing everything. And so they took me to a room, and I wouldn't even talk on the stand. I wouldn't talk anywhere. And so all I blurted out is, they said, who's doing this? We know what's going on. Who's doing it? And I said, Dad. Just because it was the only way out. And so I held that secret in, that I said that, and it wasn't him, just until this summer. And through LadyBoss, it got me the courage to realize that happened to me, but that's not who I am. And I held this secret in nobody knew I made that story up to get us out. Nobody knew that I had come up with that plan. At 6, I just wanted out. And so my mom's second husband is who I call my dad. And he's actually who helped me get here. And I told him finally, and I told my sister what I did. I finally let out the secret from 6 that I've held in, and I believe that's what helped.
So now you feel free?
Yeah. My skeleton's gone.
That's awesome, Amy. So, all right. So then, after you started, you joined LadyBoss.
Yeah.
You sounded like you were in a really dark place. So what was the first thing that you did? Did you drink water? Did you just start doing affirmations? What was it?
I started watching her meal prep videos, and how you can just what to eat. I found out what I was doing, which I didn't realize what I was doing, was as punishment for myself, I starved myself. I don't need to eat. I don't deserve to eat, And if I get in a fight with my spouse, whatever, I'd stop eating, because I don't know. I'd shut down, and I didn't realize how much damage that was actually doing. I just thought, well, whatever, skip a meal, it's.
So you started healing your
right.
body.
And I realized I have to eat every couple hours. I can't wait until 1 o'clock in the afternoon to first time eat for the day when I've been up since 6. Okay, so I have to start eating more and drinking water. I wasn't even drinking nearly enough water. I had no idea how much water you're supposed to drink. I thought that's just what people say. That's not really what you need. That's too much.
Right.
So, which is actually something that I've had people join LadyBoss, and they said nobody else emphasizes the water intake, how much you're supposed to drink. And that's the major thing I think that helps a lot of people, is we do need to hydrate ourselves. So that's what it was.
Food,
right.
you start drinking water, and you broke this habitual pattern from feeling like you are going to punish yourself and have anorexic tendencies or whatever, to loving your body and valuing it.
Yeah.
All right. So, Amy, like, this is just awesome because every lady in this chair has a different story. And you're just, like, you're so amazing. I just want to tell you that. So,
thank you.
What goals have you achieved, Amy Glenn, since you have become LadyBoss?
A lot. I learned who I am again. I forgot who I was. I knew who I was, and I found myself when I moved to Oregon, because I left that 10 years. Nobody knew my story. And when I moved out, I could be me, because my mom had remarried, and she got custody of us. And that man, still to this day, is my dad. And they're not even married anymore. They haven't been married for, I think they've been divorced longer than they were married. But he's still my dad. He's the person I look up to. He's the person I know I can count on. Because I went through my whole life thinking, I can't count on any guy. They're just gonna leave. Even if they're blood, they don't care. And at the same time that I was starting LadyBoss, a friend of mine actually got diagnosed with breast cancer. And she went through the chemo and radiation and doing all this stuff. And she went to work every day. Still, every night she was at work and taking care of her kids and doing all this stuff. And I sat there and I started watching the stuff from LadyBoss, and she's going through this. And I was like, you know what? If she can go through hell, double mastectomy, chemotherapy, radiation, and still go to work every day, then I can do this. Because she can do that. And my mom is battling melanoma. Like, if they can go on their daily lives and get treatment and go to work and then run their house, why am I just sitting on my ass?
So it sounds like not only did you lose 85 pounds, but you learned that you can conquer your demons.
Yeah.
Whether it's a challenge, just like time, or it's your past. You can conquer it.
Yeah. Stop running from it.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, Amy, what are other women that are like you? What do they need to know? What do they need to hear from you?
You're not... Just because you've gone through things doesn't mean that's who you are. That is a stepping stone to get you to where you want to be. Be stronger. Take those as, I've been through this and I'm still here. That means there's more to do. That means you can do it.
I want you to say that again. That what you've gone through is a stepping stone, would you say?
Is a stepping stone to where you want to be.
It's not determined.
It does not determine who you are. I am not a victim.
Well, you're not, girl. You're a freaking creator of your circumstances. So, what is your favorite part about being a LadyBoss?
Just the fact that I grew up thinking and being taught, and this is how a lot of women are taught, from whether it's our grandma or aunt or whatever, that watch out for other women. They're either going to take your job, take your man, or you have to compete with who's better. And so you always look at somebody like, well, what's she going to take from me? Or like, oh, she looks better in that, then I shouldn't get this, or whatever other thing there is. We always look at women as, I don't know why it's not coming to this, like we're always intimidated, like they're the enemy, like, but it's not. We're all the same. We were all little girls who had dreams. And I have 2 daughters, and I don't want them going around thinking that you can't. I never had female friends because I was always taught that they're either going to steal your best friend, they're going to steal your man, or they're going to want whatever. So I only hung out with guys because I didn't relate to them. I wasn't into makeup or girly girl or anything like that. And I was more tomboyish, but that was probably because I was just wanting to keep everybody away. And I just learned that women are actually kind. They're not just out to backstab you. So what if your best friend has another friend? Great, because then they can do things when you're not there. Just you can have more than one friend. I always thought you had to have one friend. Wow. You know?
So becoming a lady boss has not just helped you to become a woman in your life and for your kids, but it's helped you to embrace other women too.
Yes. I now see, rather than when I see another woman doing stuff or taking care of their kids, I'm just like, you know, I actually talk to them and say, you know, good job, and you're doing great, and you're a good mom. And when their kids are throwing fits or anything, it's like, don't worry, you got this. Like, I actually go out and, like, I have roses. I went and gave them out to all my neighbors, all the women in my neighborhood, and my bus driver, and, like, I'm spreading it everywhere.